So today I would like to talk to you about a very important topic on guitar performance. So as you all know, making music on our instrument is a very difficult task because the guitar has a lot of limitations that works against us in music making, right? For a singer, for a cellist, or for string instruments in general, you know, it's very natural to play a very long phrase, a very nice legato. I'm not saying it is easy, but it's very natural. With the guitar, it's difficult, I think. And so I think that a huge percentage of this problem is technique. Maybe we have the musical idea in our mind, but we are unable to express it with our instrument. So the goal of this workshop really is on how to connect music and technique on the classical guitar. So first, I would like to talk to you about what I mean by technique. I'm not going to teach you how to play, you know, impressive fast scales or, you know, very difficult things. But I think the technique addresses much more important topics. For example, you know, how to play a long phrase with legato, how to have a good sound, how to do a nice vibrato, how to do an interesting crescendo and decrescendo, how to manage time in music making, right? So we can say that technique is all about having the tools towards making music on guitar. So in this lecture, we will go back to the basics in guitar in order to make sure that also we are not getting used to wrong habits, because I see, let me tell you, I see, and it happened to me as well, you know, people trying to play pieces and they are repeating, and it's not working. Well, why it's not working? Because the basic movement sometimes are not very well achieved. And so I think that now we can also, in a way, use the time that we have during this lockdown to go back to those basics and to, you know, to have them as a daily workout that we can do every day to train our fingers. Okay. So, yeah, so basically the whole problem is, I think, about having finger independence. So we will go through now this first exercise that I think you have, but otherwise it's no problem because I can explain. It's very, very easy. Again, it's not about the exercise itself, because there's, I mean, you can invent exercises, you can use passages from the pieces. It's all about how you do it. And now I'm gonna explain you what I mean by how you do it. But first, before going through the exercises, I wanted to explain you how important it is to warm up our muscles before playing, because we have to think about ourselves as an athlete. So all athletes, they do warm up before doing, even, you know, well, especially the best ones, they do warm up before running, before going through those, you know, their normal activities. We can do a very, very simple stretching before. I do that every day before starting to play, because otherwise you can also have, you know, problems if you start right away with repertoire. Maybe when you're young, it's no problem, but when you get older, you know, I think it's best to maybe just 5 minutes, 3 minutes to warm up our muscles. So hands together, okay? We can do, for example, if you want to do that together with me, it would be nice, so we can go through this routine. You go, so, and you can start by doing this. You just put some pressure, not too much, just a little bit. And then you can also do this. You rotate the wrist, you know, in this way. Okay, and then again, this. Okay. And then again, this. Then we can start with each finger of right hand first. We can do this. Just a little pressure, not too much, just to, you know, do some stretching. This second and the third. I can assure you that this is very beneficial. You will see the difference when you start playing now with your fingers almost ready to roll. So it's not something silly. I can assure you, it's really beneficial. So this, this. You can do it longer when you are at home, because now otherwise we don't have time to go through everything. Okay, so now the right hand. Now I'm going to tell you some exercises that you can do with the right hand. Again, it's not about the exercises, but all about how you do them. So the first is very simple. You can plant, so you can put your thumb on the fourth string just to rest there. Okay, and you can play free stroke with IM separately, just to, you know, no preparation needed, just free stroke. Can you hear me well? This is the part when you look at your nails, you see if it's everything is polished well. If you know the nail, then we will talk about how to shape the nail, how to get a good sound. But just this part, just to get our fingers ready. So when you slide on the string, you should not feel resistance at all. You just play normally. Very, very simple. I know it's simple. I know you all know that, but this part is very crucial, because this is when you realize, okay, no, here the nail is not working. So you polish, and otherwise maybe you don't have a good sound. So you go, you polish, then you try again. No? Then you can do, for example, index, and then you can do with M. No, so you can do 2. So no preparation, just, you know, free stroke like this. You look at your movement, you look, maybe you fix it a little bit, maybe, you know, something is not working properly, so then you can also do one thing, which is very important, to use, always use a metronome, no? So you can put 60 on the metronome, for example, let's put 60. And you can do, okay, so again, this exercise, you can do index. If you don't like the sound, you can change the nail, you can fix it. Then you can also do, for example, so MI, so combination between the fingers, always on tempo. It's important you always have the metronome with you, because it really helps. So this is super simple. Now, okay, do you have the first exercise with you? Well, if you don't, no problem. It's very simple. It's you have to play 3 notes, which are the first 3 strings. So E, B, G. Okay. So exercise number 1. Now we go. You place all your fingers on the strings. Okay. So you place like this. All the strings, all the fingers needs to be on the string. So this is called planting in guitar technique. We plant our fingers, and we prepare the fingers. So what I mean by prepare is that we put our fingers on the strings before they have to play. Okay, so fingers on strings, and we prepare this group of notes, of 3 notes, which are the first string, the first 3 strings. So we have to release each one of them independently and separately, of course. And then the 4th beat is when the whole group returns to the strings. Now maybe it sounds difficult. Now I'm going to play it for you. So, can you see well here the fingers? Oh, sorry, I didn't see the okay, sorry, the messages. Yes, I was with Carlo. Yes, that's right. Okay, so if your wrist hurts, sorry, I will just go back 1 second. If your wrist hurts, you have to go much more. Well, it's not. You have to go through very softly, very softly. To me, also, it hurts a little bit at the beginning because you know, we have to every day to train this part because it's fundamental. So if it hurts, even for stretching, I cannot imagine when you're playing. So it's important to do a very soft angle and to push just a little bit until it hurts, and then, you know, when it doesn't hurt anymore, you can start playing. So now we go. You can play along with my metronome. So we put metronome on 60, and we prepare our fingers, okay, this way, and then we release E, B, sorry, E, E, yes, it's the first one, EBG, okay, EBG, okay, so we do 1, 2, 3, 4, E, B, G, release, E, B, G, release, E, B, G, release, E, B, G, release. Is it clear? So, why do we do this? We do this because we want to, so the technique is all about doing the smallest movement possible. So if we prepare our fingers on the strings before they have to play, we are not going to do mistakes, because you see very often people playing and everything, let's say on the air, it's called. So if you play on the air, you're not going to catch maybe the string properly. And so that is when mistakes starts to, you know, to come. So if you train yourself to play very close to the strings and to prepare the fingers before they have to play on the right hand, you're not going to do mistakes, because everything will be very accurate, because you are doing the smallest movement possible. So, you know, it's all about that. It's all about accuracy. And also you train independence of the fingers. Otherwise, you see many people doing, you know, strange gestures. And this is not good for the technique and for the music, mainly for the music, because you're not gonna, you know, plug the string properly. So when you do this, we will start again. You have to also hear your sound, and you have to always like your sound. You know? So start again. Then we're gonna add something with the left. 3, 4. Release. Okay, do you have questions? Is it very clear to you? Okay, so now we're going to add the left hand in this part here. So left hand should be always very straight on the strings, okay? So don't play like this flat or string. The fingertip needs to be straight on the string, this way, okay? Can you see? And so what we're gonna do is we're going to do the same thing with the right hand. So preparation of each finger and then release, and then adding a chromatic scale. So F, F sharp, G, G sharp, and then we go with the second string, same thing, and third string, same thing. Is it clear to you? Yeah. Okay, so let's start with metronome. So you can listen to my metronome, and so 3, 4. E, B, G, release. Release, F sharp. Release. Release. your left hand. It's always needs to be straight on the string. It's very important. So, you know, I want to also explain you something else. It's not really, this is very simple. It's all about how you do it. So you always have to like the sound. You always have to, you know, prepare here the fingers and train your independence. And with your left hand, you always have to be straight on the strings. If this is good, then it's okay. If something happens here, if you go, you know, strange positions and strange angles, it means that this part, because everything starts from this. When you apply these principles to the pieces, it's going to be super beneficial because it will help you to be more accurate, to avoid mistakes, and to be also much more musical, because if you have independence on the finger, well, then you're ready to go. So let's go again with on the third string. The Metronome. So. G. Look at my left hand, you see? It needs to be very, very, very straight on the string. Now I would like to, I would like this workshop to be very interactive. So if someone would like to play this exercise or to ask me questions, please do. I want to see if it's clear for you. Anyone wants to try? Don't be shy, don't be shy. Okay. Zmir, I saw someone put their hands like this. Amitabha, can you check? Okay, someone is here.
That's me, sir.
I cannot see you.
No,
Sorry,
no.
I can. Okay, okay, here you are. Let me see. Okay, how can I see you? Okay, do you want to try?
Okay, sir.
Can I see your left hand, because I cannot see?
Oh, so my camera's range is actually quite, I don't know. Can you see it now?
I can see very well the right hand, but not the left.
Okay. Looks like I need to adjust it a bit.
You just have to turn it maybe.
Just a second. So, oh, no. Is this okay?
It's better, yes. Okay, look at this. It's one finger at a time. So when you prepare like this, okay, all fingers are planted on the strings. And then we have to release one at the time, I mean separately. So it's, and then release. So the other fingers needs to be on the string, and on the string in the position, in the correct position of plucking the string, because this is made precisely for being able to react immediately and to play the string immediately when you need. Otherwise, if you are away from the string and you're far from the string, you're going to miss it or to not play it properly with the right angle. So this is all about accuracy and all about the independence. So you just have to, it's okay how you do it, but you have to release one string at a time. So the other ones needs to be on the strings. Is it clear for everyone? Because maybe I'm not very clear in explaining. I want to ask you if it's...
No, sir, it's absolutely fine.
Smiriti is your name, right?
Huh?
Your name is Smiriti?
Yes, sir.
Okay, your fingers of the left hand, look at this. When you play the F, the other ones needs to be straight, not far from the string, but straight like this. Because if you do these angles or these angles, you're not going to be accurate when you play on the left hand. So when you do the exercise, try to put all your fingers as straight as possible on the string, right?
Okay.
So when you do this, everything is, you train your finger. Basically, you know, it's very simple. This is, I know it's, you all know it. I mean, you probably have learned this thing in the first lesson of guitar, but I can assure you that if you go back to these basics sometimes and you try with the metronome, you realize that maybe sometimes it's not very accurate. And that's when all problems starts, right? So yeah, by training yourself, your fingers to be accurate, to go on the right spot, you're training your hand to be, yeah, to be faster also. And also our memory, you know, it's when we do mistakes, it records everything. So when we practice, if we are more accurate, it's better also for our playing because we don't record the mistakes. So we have some questions here. Okay. Does cracking knuckles harm your finger? No, don't worry, don't worry. Should the left hand be very straight? Can you show it? Yes. Yeah, it has to be very, very, very straight because otherwise you're going to miss the string. So like this, I don't know if you can hear, see me well. Can you see me well? So like this. By straight, I mean that the fingertip needs to be on the string, not like this, for example. But also by straight, I mean that, for example, if you're playing the F, these other ones cannot be here or here. They need to be always close to where you're going to play. Okay. Yes, yes, sorry, my English is not very good. Perpendicular to the fret, it's the best definition. Okay, so now we go on and we do B, E, G with our right hand, okay? So always the same principle, preparation, E, and then the other ones stays planted, okay? So E, sorry, B, E, G, release. Metronome. We can do it together, guys, if you want. It would be very nice. B, E, G, okay. 3, 4. Yes, I will. Now we go back. We go to left hand and we talk about left hand. Now we finish on the right hand because there's 3, 4. Left hand. Second string. Release. Third. Okay, so when we play the left hand, the fingers needs to be always next to fret. I see very often playing in the middle of the fret, but no, next to fret. So, you know, very, very close to the fret. That's the best position for the tone and also for accuracy in terms of how the pressure that you want to put on the string, right? So so maybe this one is that if you're not used to do preparation on the right hand, maybe you need a bit of time to get used to to have your fingers planted and to be able to train your independence. So we will go through now the number 3, which is G, E, B. So these are things that you can do every day, before starting playing. Maybe you can divide them in a week. And this is super, super good. It's very simple, but super good because it trains our finger. I realize that sometimes when we go through the pieces right away, we do mistakes and we don't realize what are the mistakes. Maybe sometimes we are just not very accurate, and maybe our hand is like flying away or bouncing. We don't like the sound, but we don't like the sound maybe because we are not plucking the string in the correct way, and we are not precise because we are far away from the string. And when we pluck, it's not in the good way, it's not on the good angle, and it's slow because sometimes we get there slow. If we are on the strings already, we are fast, absolutely. Okay, so number 4, G, E, B, and then I'm going to explain you another trick that we can do. E, G, B. Sorry, G, E, B, 3, 4. G, E, B, G, E, B, release. G, E, B, release. G, E, B, release. 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 Always next to fret. Okay. Now, another thing that it's very important to do with your right hand is to be able to play, to prepare everything. So to have all your fingers planted on the fourth, so the thumb on the fourth, the index on the third, the medium on the second, and your third finger on the first. So like this, and to be able to play each string separately and then come back straight away. So for example, play the G, play the thumb, for example. We start with the thumb. So then the G as well. So basically, your finger, when it plays, it has to go back straight away, and the other ones needs to stay planted. So we can do, for example, I don't know, EBG, the first 3 strings. Let me do 3, 4. Let me see. Is it clear for you guys? Can you? Someone wants to play it, to try and play this one. So this one is different because when you play the string, the finger needs to go back immediately, and the other ones needs to be planted. So the finger, your hand is there, and just one plays and goes back. Someone wants to Amitabha, you want to? Nice. And now go with the left hand. No, go ahead. Go with the left hand now. And start doing the same thing, the same thing we did before with your left hand, but with all the fingers planted like you did. You want to try? With activate your microphone so we can all hear you. Yeah, nice. Okay, so when you go back to the string, you have to make sure that you go back on the fingertip to stop the sound. Otherwise,
the nails are sounding.
Yes. But good. Very good. Okay, so now we can try to do that all together, this one. Maybe we can do the number 3. So B, E, G. 1, 2, 3, 4. B, E, G. B, E, G. B, E, G. And then you can go ahead. So another thing that I would like to tell you is another kind of preparation of the right hand, which is you can play E, B, G. You plant your finger on the 4th string. When you play the first note, so the E, you have to prepare the finger that follows. And when you play the B, you have to prepare the finger that follows. There is the G, and then coming back. So you do straight away. When you play the E, straight away you have to prepare the B. So This is very important for right hand independence, but also for the pieces. Because we tend to play everything when it's needed, and we don't tend to prepare. If we prepare the fingers, we are more accurate, and also we are more we are faster because we anticipate what follows. So is it clear for you? So you play E, G, B, okay? Sorry, E, B, G, and when you play the first note, you anticipate the second. E, okay? Can you? Someone wants to show me? Maybe Deepak. Do you want to show me Deepak if he's here? Yeah, he's here. Okay, but when you play the G, you have to prepare the B, because you do E, B, G, E, B, G. So it's like E, B, G. Sorry, can you try again? Okay, when you play the G, you have to prepare the B. No, when you play, okay, I'm gonna show you again. Sorry, 1 second, because maybe I didn't. So when you play, sorry, hands free, okay, only thumb planted. You play the E, and you prepare the G. The B, sorry, you play the B, you prepare the G. Then you play the G, you prepare the B. So everything is yes. But you can do it very, very slow, like this. Because it's important to do it slow. It is 3, 4. Is it clear for everyone? Please ask me questions. Maybe you want to know why we do this. Maybe you want to know anything, because I don't want this to be, you know, I want this workshop to be clear for you in terms of, I mean, the reason why we do these exercises. I mean, why do we do this? Someone maybe wants to tell their opinion. Why do you think we do this right hand exercise? Why is important? Someone wants to give their okay, someone is writing. What about the right hand? Same movements is allowed. I mean, we are talking about maybe you meant the yes, that's right. Okay, so here we go. Stability is the first. Yes, stability, because also, you know, sometimes we are on stage and we are stage frightened somehow, you know, because all our emotions and our tension. So basically what happens is that our hands start to shake. So if we play on the air, everything on the air, we are not accurate because our hand is shaking, and so we are going to miss the string. But if we have our fingers on the strings, and if we have the independence to be able to prepare the fingers and to anticipate the next movement, then we are not going to have problem. You go there on stage, you put your hand on the strings, you prepare everything, not everything, but you try to prepare most things, and then the movement is more accurate, more precise. Our fingers are independent, because at the beginning you will feel that you cannot control, maybe you plant everything and you cannot control, for example, you cannot control just one finger, or just, you can also do with 2 fingers. And so those exercises is not about, you can invent them. I'm just telling you the principles on how it should work, I think. So how do we make the ring finger louder? How to strengthen? Okay, then we are going to talk about the tone, and I will tell you about it. Okay. Yes, and also by training your fingers to be in the right place at the right time, okay, you're also training your hand to be faster. So if you want to play fast, that's the way. Okay, so left hand. I'm going quite quick because I didn't realize it takes, I didn't count the things I wanted to say, and so should one keep wrist straight? Okay, I'm going to tell you about the tone later, about the hand position. Thank you for your question. So Amitabha asked me before of left hand. Okay, left hand is crucial in guitar playing because often it can be a bit slow, you know, or maybe it takes a long time to warm up, or maybe it doesn't respond quickly enough to our ideas, you know, and so we are struggling to play because our hand is not quick enough. So how to deal with that? Well, first of all, I think that all the awareness of how we should place our fingers on the strings, it's already something great, because in this way we train our fingers how much pressure do we need to play each note, and so the first thing is called tapping. Only with the left hand, without the right hand, you can do just 1, 2 on the first 2 frets, from 6th string to the first, you just do. I want to clarify something, because at the beginning, when I was a student, I had an hard time, you know, with my first teacher was not a guitar player, so I wasn't able to understand those things then. I was lucky enough to have some guidance. And at the beginning, I wasn't understanding. I was just seeing those exercises as like silly and didn't make sense to me. But then when you realize that it's all about the basic movements, and by doing that, you are correcting also the repertoire that maybe you have difficulties in improving. So if you go back to this thing, you realize maybe, okay, I'm not tapping correctly, because by tapping, basically you're training your fingers. You're saying to your fingers, how much pressure do I need to play this note? Sometimes, you know, we play difficult things and we are not putting enough pressure, and so it doesn't sound right, and we don't understand why. By going back to these basics, you can teach if you're a teacher, I see many teachers here, you can teach your students at the beginning those things, because they really can help, I think. So you can start by, okay, so we put metronome. So you do, for example, or faster. Always with metronome, but the important thing is that the hand, it's always straight like this, and the movement is quick and little. You don't have to do things like that. You sometimes see people with doing very big movements. Now we want very, very little movement and very precise, because guitar playing is all about the economy of the movement. If we do the small movement but fast and correct, we won't have problems. So sometimes you know, we have to go back to these basics, and so, for example, you can when you practice, you can do these things. And so you're telling to your fingers how much pressure you need, where it has to land squarely, you know, and also next to fret, all those things. So then we have the very important exercise, which is called walking. It's from the famous Pumping Nylon book from Scott Tennant. This is a calibration exercise. And basically, you have to play only with your with one finger of the left hand. You can do first and second and third. So these 3 fingers, you do. Then you go 2nd fret. Only with your 1st finger. 3rd string. So the finger, in this way, you're training your fingertip to be very relaxed, first of all, okay? We want to be very relaxed as it goes across the strings and across the frets. But also, I mean, you're training your finger, how to say, yeah, to land squarely and consistently each time, walking from the sixth to the first. So it's like more than an awareness exercise, because you realize where it lands, you fix in your mind exactly how much pressure you need, where it has to land, and everything. And you can do of course with first finger, then you can do with second. Don't play staccato, because this one you should more play legato, because you have to teach your hand how to be fast and precise and consistent by switching from strings to string and from frets to fret. This is what it is all about. So we don't have time to go through the thing, but I'm just going to tell you some inputs, okay? So I'm going to tell you various things so that you know, then you can choose whatever you like best. So yeah, okay. So another thing which is very important for the left hand is slurs. Okay, slurs. When we play, for example, pieces like Capriccio Arabe that you all know, or pieces that they have. Sometimes we realize that the slurs are not very well achieved. They don't sound so good to us. So it's a pity, you know, because the piece is wonderful and this slurs is not working. So what we have to do is to work on those slurs separately, and then in this way, when we apply those to the pieces, we will not have problem. So this is very important. I learned it from David Russell, and it's all about left hand. You use first and these two fingers here. Okay, you put your finger like this. The hand is to be again very, very straight on the string. The fingertip needs to be I mean, very, very perpendicular. Okay, and we do. Okay, who is she? Antara. Try to make the smallest movement possible with your left hand, because if you do very big movement, the movement is not. I mean, it's not precise because it's big and therefore it's not fast. Okay, so try to play the slur, but with the slowest. Sorry, the littlest movement possible. Okay, so, and also you have to like the sound. You have to say, okay, I like the sound. I like you know, how it sounds, and also I like how the slur sounds. So, and then you can apply to the piece. So let's go back. 4. Amitabha, your pinky finger has to be always on the string, okay? Because if you otherwise the hand is not straight, and therefore you're not landing squarely and precisely on the string. So I would like to see some of your slurs. Someone wants to play it? Anyone? Ritupaban. Let's see. Okay, let me tell you something. Okay, it's okay if your other fingers, they move sympathetically together, but it's not okay when you play, for example, when for example, this finger is moving across. This is not good because you're making too much movement, and therefore you're not going to be precise. So when you do the slur, try to land, to see where you land with this finger, and don't move the other ones, okay? Maybe that's why the tapping is important. Before doing this, you have to do the tapping, because the tapping gives you an idea or where your fingertip lands. Because I can assure you guys, to every one of you, that mistake starts from these little things. Maybe you are not accurate to land on the string when you do the piece, and so this one is really helpful, I think. So try again, please. Okay, you can also do, I think that you can do even with less movement, just very little and fast. Okay, thank you. Then you can do with also with 1 and 4, which is more difficult, like this. So we can do 1 3, 1 3, 1 4, 1 3. Yes. What about? Okay. Well, Vinay. Yes, this is a problem, because when the action is very high, it's difficult for your left hand to play, and it's also painful, right? Because you have to put a lot of pressure. So more force is required, and I recommend to fix the guitar. To maybe you can sandpaper the ponticello, you know, and try to make the guitar easier. So. But I can, yeah, but it's not about strength so much. It's more about accuracy, awareness of where the finger needs to land, and awareness of our mind, of our brain, of how much pressure we need. That's why we train in this way. The reason why we train this way is because we have to teach our mind again how much pressure we need, where the finger needs to land, and all of those things, which are very important, I think. So, okay, now, yeah, so you can also do, it's very useful, I think, hammer-ons and pull-offs, making sure that each finger is strong enough. So like this. 1 2. You can do it with me if you want. 1 2. If you want to, Deepak, you can also try. I know you're a very good player, you're an amazing player, but if you want to try to when you play these very simple things, to keep always the hand this way, then when you go to more difficult pieces and you're already trained to keep your hand this way, and you don't make maybe, you know, sympathetic movements, or like so when you do the first if you keep your hand there already, and if you don't do this, keep like very straight, you are training your, I know it's easy, but you train your mind to be accurate, right? So I think this is helpful. So let's go through these very simple things, okay? 3 4. Sristi, how do you pronounce? Yes, you're making, I think you're making bigger movement than it's necessary. Try to focus on your left hand, and to make yeah, as little movement as possible, because in this way you will be more accurate. Okay, so Someone else, questions? Do you have questions? Which part of the pinky finger is best to play the slurs? Which part of the, you mean the fingertip? Which part of the fingertip? Well, you know, the third finger is a crucial finger. It's very difficult, right, to play. You don't have to be like that straight. You can also play, but the important thing is that the wrist is straight. If the wrist is straight, the fingers will be good, you know. For example, I don't have that straight. Some people have very, very straight pinky and they can do this. I cannot do that, but we have to try to get there somehow, because this one is crucial for slurs. And so if we are, because let me tell you, if you're not like, if you don't put your fingers very straight, you need more pressure, because the fingertip is exactly, I mean, if you do this straight, you're gonna have much more strength than if you do this, okay? So if you need more strength to do the slur, it's going to be more difficult to do the slur. So it's all about being aware of those things. And when you play, look at trying to be the teacher of ours, trying to, everyone has to be the teacher of ourselves, right? To look at us and see this finger needs to be improved, you know, all those things. So, so we can do, okay, some hammer on and pull-offs. Also, I mean, you can do this, and you can do. And when you do with your right hand, you can also mute the string. So if you do this string keeps playing, you can mute. So you train also your right hand thumb to mute the strings that are not required. And this is about the finger independence. Sorry, I'm being quick, but it's because I want to address many things. Okay, so this one is, okay, so now I'm going to explain you an exercise that has chords involved. It has chords, and also you can train right and hand together. So put left hand, index finger, first fret, fourth string, like this. First fret, fourth string, like this. Then medium finger, third string, second fret, and then third finger on the second and on the third on the first fret, like this. Okay, it's easier to show, I think. Is it clear? The left edge of my finger has bruises when I play. Well, I mean, yeah, of course, you have to train, you have to build your callus. It's called callus? I think so, yeah. So if you play always on the same part of the finger, you build your callus. So, sorry, I have questions. How do smoothly switch between finger 4 and finger core? How to smoothly switch between fourth finger? Okay, now we're gonna see that. Okay, so like this. Let me, everyone, if you want to play, I wanna see. Okay, right? Okay, perfect. So in this exercise, we will learn how to play, how to use our elbow. It's called elbow. To play different chords and to go through the the fretboard with no problems. So you put your fingers like this, okay? Your right hand, you can prepare all the and you do like this. You can do it with me if you want. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then when you do this, once you've done that, you do this. And you do the opposite, which is like this. Okay. So this one is the first. The opposite is this one. Try to do the second one. I want to see if you're okay. Bravo. Rack team, okay. Deepak, okay. Zaren, okay. Antara, okay. So this and this. Okay. And you do. clear? Is it? You see, I'm using very much my wrist to change position. So let's go through together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe, okay, some of you, Siddhartha, is it clear for you, Siddhartha? Siddhartha, can you hear me? Is it clear for you, the exercise? Is it, okay. All right. So, 3, 4. This is very helpful because you train your wrist, your elbow, your fingers to respond quickly, your right hand. And now you can also do one thing. So first we did the first 4th string, okay? So 1. Now you can put your first finger on the 5th string, okay? So you leave one string empty in the pattern, okay? So this string, you use your 5th, so first finger on the 5th string, first fret, and then the other ones in the same position. Is it clear for you guys? So you do the same thing like this. Okay, and you put it back on the 5th. I want to see if it's clear. Someone, please. Some teachers here wants to show the other one. Deepak, please, you want to show your students?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
okay, Deepak, you see, here the deal is that we have to anticipate on the left hand. Look at this.
okay.
By being accurate, you know, you have to try. At the moment you are playing one finger at a time, but my goal here is to anticipate like this.
Okay.
Very, very slow. You have to do it. You see that when you play your 3rd and 4th finger, you're not super accurate because you are a bit late in the. So if you have a metronome with you, I'm gonna see the sound. I'm gonna play for you. You see that I'm landing squarely and right on tempo on the string. That's the goal of this exercise.
Okay, it's not playing holding all together. It's like you plant it on time, exactly
Yes,
on the time.
precisely, and this helps in the pieces because sometimes we are slow, you know. So this helps. Thank you, Deepak. And okay, so let's try together this one. So he got the point of. I mean, you have to in this part to keep one string free. So 5th and this one. Okay, let's try together. Then we go on. 1 second. 3, 4. Now, last thing we do, then we switch exercise. You do the same thing, but with your first finger on the sixth. That's a bit difficult because you have to have lots of opening in your hand. So 3, 4. Okay, so in this exercise, we train the left hand, but we also train the right hand, because you can apply the same principles that we learned in the first part on your right hand, okay? So in this way, basically, you're doing two things at the same time, and it's very beneficial, I think. Then we can do something else, which is nice, I think. So we do the same thing, like this. Fourth, third, second, and first, like this. Okay, and we go on the fifth position, so the index needs to be on the fifth position. Okay, what we do is we shift one finger at a time, okay, like this. Okay, I want to know if it's clear for you guys. Zare, you want to show? No? Someone wants? You, Ritu, sorry, I cannot pronounce your name. I'm very sorry.
Right.
Okay, I will show you later. Bravo. Bravo, bravissimo. Okay, so Adar Shabaili. Is that correct? So Adar Shabaili, basically what you have to do is to put these fingers like this. Okay, so one finger per fret, starting from the first finger to the fourth, okay, like this. Then you go on the fifth position, and you use, basically you shift one finger at a time going back. So you do this. Very nice and helpful, I think. Okay, I'm going to go fast because I want to tell you many things. So the other one we can do, same thing, like this. We go on the 7th fret. Like this. Everyone is there, okay? And what we do is we train our independence of the left hand this time, not the right hand, but the left hand. So we use our 1 and 2 fingers, and we do. Very small movement, guys. Very small. I want to see very small movement. And accurate. Then we do, for example, Amitabh, you want to play? Try now to do, please, for everyone, 1 and 3. So now we did 1 and 2, and then you can do 1. You want to try?
Me?
Antara, yes, please.
Sorry, I thought in.
Okay, Antara, try to do 2-4. Brava. 1-4. Bravissima, bravissima. Very good. I think this is very important because, again, you train your left hand to be reactive, to be fast, and also you give some inputs to your mind, and you have more independence on your fingers, on the left hand fingers. So, okay. Oh, okay. Very important. Now I'm going to talk to you about shifts. Shift sometimes with the guitar, you know, we shift from, you know, I don't know, third fret to the last fret or whatever. We do the shiftings. So and a very beneficial exercise that we can use for the shifting is this one here. I'm going to explain to you. Okay. So we play a staccatos chromatic scale with our left hand, the same one we did before. So F, F sharp, G, G sharp. And then we do 1 fret shift in this way. You do 3, 4, pa, release, 1, 2, 3, release, 1, 2, 3. So, okay, I'm going to explain. This one is difficult maybe to explain. So we do chromatic scale, F, F sharp, G, G sharp. Then we wait 1 second of pause. So 1, 2, 3, 4, pause, pausa. And then we take 3 seconds, so to shift on the next fret. But the shift, why we do this? Because the shift needs to be very well calibrated and very well, how to say, very well, not done at the last minute or the last second, not like, we have to train our shifts to be very precise. So we have 3 seconds to get there, but we don't have to get there immediately. We can do the shifting that lasts 3 seconds. I don't know if it's clear. It's a bit difficult to explain. I'm gonna show you again, and let's see. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pausa. 1, 2, 3. Pausa. 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Pausa. 1, 2, 3. Pausa. 1, 2, and 3, and pausa. 1, 2, 3. Pausa. 1, 2, and 3. Then we can go back on the second and on the third. Now I want to hear it from you, because then I will explain a more difficult thing to do. And someone has a metronome and wants to play it for me, or for everyone actually, to show them. Someone new that wants to don't be shy, because we are here to learn together and to do this together. So please. Amitabha, can you see if someone is raising hand, because I'm not very familiar with the platform. So maybe again, Antara, do you want to try? Good. Release. Brava. Okay, bravissimo. So this one, we can go up to 7th, and then we go back. To go back, same principle. Let me show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, release. 1, 2, 3. 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 Okay, so in this exercise, we have to apply all the principles that we have learned previously. So the hands needs also always to be very, very straight on the string, very perpendicular, the fingertip. And this is very helpful because we train our mind how to do the shifting in time. Now we will go on a more difficult, well, not more difficult, but it's a bit more interesting, I think. Same thing, but we jump on 2 frets and we count up to 4. So we do 1, 2, 3, 4, pause. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you basically jump on 2 frets this time, okay? And then you can go on and do 5 frets shifting. This is the more complicated part, but it's the more helpful because in this way we are aware of our shiftings. We don't have to, when we play the piece, when we learn the piece, we don't have to practice 10,000 times the shifting because we have already achieved the result by practicing these principles every day for half an hour, I don't know. So basically my whole point of this workshop is that if we learn, if we get the tools for our technique very simple as this every day, we don't get bad habits. We train our finger to be accurate. And when we play the piece, it's better because we don't waste so much time in learning the piece, okay? Because it's easier and faster. And so this is, okay, so now I'm going to talk to you 1 second about tone production, okay? So tone production. I'm sorry here, my setting today is not very good because this is not my guitar and I don't know if you can hear well and stuff. But anyway, I want to talk to you very seriously about tone production because it's a very crucial aspect of the guitar performance because it's the first thing that, oh, you have the guitar lift, Deepak, great. It's the first thing that that we hear in a performance, right? Oh, thank you. It's the first thing that we hear, and it's the most crucial aspect. So the idea of some people have round nails, some people have I don't know, whichever shape you want. It's really something personal, but there is a principle that it's physical, and I can assure you that it's going to be beneficial if you are aware of this. So the idea to have a good sound is to use the nail as a ramp to shape it and to move the string the way they want. So the ramp, now I'm going to tell you about the ramp. So how we shape the nail is really can affect the tone. In order to have a warm, rich sound, we have to make sure that the string vibrates perpendicular to the top. So not like this, like this. So basically with a free stroke, you want the string driving down into the top. So like this, in this way, okay? So you want to modulate the angle downward. Don't pull the string up like this. So the string needs to be like this. So the idea is to use the nail as a ramp, because as it slides down one to another, if the string slides down, it will naturally help to drive the string on downward on its path. Why? Because when you plug the string, then there is a release point. And so if you do the ramp, it will be very natural to attach the string, because we have a ramp, so something that helps the finger to go down on the string, and then here on this part, something that helps to release the string. Let me see if I can explain myself better. Yeah, the ramp helps to drive the strings downward. Okay, so basically, when we then release the string, because there is the attach point and then the release point, we have to make sure that there is nothing that catches. So the nail shape should really respect this principle in a way that this one is I learned from David Russell. I think it's very interesting, because it's the physics point of view of how you plug the string. So okay, so now the most important thing. The first thing that the finger should catch is not that the nail should catch is not the nail. Sorry, I come again. The first thing that we have to pluck, that the nail has to pluck, is the fingertip and then the nail. Because if we pluck first the nail, the sound is not good. We have to pluck first the fingertip and then the nail with the ramp and then with the release point. So basically what happens is that when we play the string, we touch the fingertip, which is flesh, and we put a little pressure, it goes through, and then you touch the nail and then the release point, and so. So if you are like aware of this process, I think it will help you to get a better nail, because you can shape it in this way. But you will ask yourself now, but okay, so how come that we have great players who very, very different nail shapes, and the sound is good, even if they don't follow, I mean, this way of shaping nails? Well, because it's all about actually the fingertip. It's not okay, the nail is important, but it more has to do with the fingertip, on how soft it is, and because it's the first thing that we touch on the string. So also it's silly to look at the fingers of the nails this way or this way, because what really matters is the fingertip. And then if you respect this principle, so the proper length of the nail should be such that when you first make contact with the string, it should touch the flesh and not the nail. So don't ever land on the nail. It's not you're not going to get a good sound if you touch the nail first. So when the nail takes over, there's a ramp and then the release point. Okay, so to answer my question that I did about the nail shape, is that it's not about the nail shape so much, but it's about the curves that we have, seeing the nail this way. So maybe when we see from this side, everyone has different nails, but from this side, they always respect this principle of the, yeah, no worries. Anyway, this is the principle. And so another reason why we all have different nail shapes, and it sounds good either way, is because of the angle. We have different angles on how we plug the strings. So my way of playing actually is with this kind of angle, not very extreme, but kind of this way. And so that changes, of course, the nail shape. But for example, also it's important to have a good surface on the. We have to make sure our nail is very, very well, sanded, because a perfect nail shape but badly sanded, or with notches or like scratches, it's gonna sound terrible. So sometimes people have, you know, very, very particular nail shapes, but very, very well polished and very, very well sanded, and that's gonna sound good. So make sure you get a silky smooth surface, especially realize the nail has to deal with also thickness. For example, I have very, very soft nails, and it's a problem. So now I try to summarize. My way of doing the nails is this one. I will show you. So I take, you can do this. It's very simple and very, I think, helpful. This very normal sandpaper, okay? Okay, if you have a ramp on the nail, but it feels difficult to play tremolo, it's because they are too long, I think. Try to shorten them, to respect the ramp, but to shorten them. Okay, so you take this very, very simple sandpaper. Then you can fold it like this, okay? So this way, okay? Is it clear for you? Then you put it on the strings like this. Okay, this way. It's clear for you. And then you play. I'm not gonna do that now because otherwise it's gonna scratch everything, but you play in the same angle that you will play, you know, music normally. So in this way, you're going to know exactly what is your contact point of the nail on the string. And once you've done that, you will look at your nails, and they will be very, very strange, you know, because you will have you have basically scratched down all your nails, but you will have a very, very clear view of your contact point on the strings. Once you've done that, you take nail file of this kind of nail files are very good, and you adjust. Okay, so you polished everything in the same shape that this piece of sandpaper have created. I think that is actually the most clever, not clever, but because it's not my idea, it's from Thomas Villotto. I learned him from him. So it's very interesting because you see precisely what is the contact point of your nails on the string. And then basically you just shape it in the same way, but we're correcting the scratches because of course, you know, this is very rough. So with this, you're just gonna get, you know, the overall shape. Then I show you my, okay, this is my, it's full of, you know, all kinds of different nail files and sandpapers, because the idea is once you've, you know, created the shape and everything, you gotta really smooth everything and create a very, very silky surface, because the surface is the most important thing. If we have notch, if we have scratches, you're not gonna get a good tone. So the most important thing for tone is actually how you plug the string, the way you drive the string towards the top, right? But mainly how you shape your nails. So remember, this one in order to get the shape, this one to correct it. Then you can go and start with this. You see this one, for example, very helpful. And then I have, for example, this micromesh 8000 and the micromesh 12,000. And this is very helpful in order to have a very, very silky smooth, very silky touch on the nail. So, and then of course the whole story about the angle, about apoyando, about you know, the free stroke, the way you plug the string. Of course, it's important, but more importantly, I think, is starting from the shape. And this is a very good way because it really represents the way you are playing. So I really recommend to all of you to try at least one time to shape the way, to shape the nails this way, because you realize what your finger, what your, yeah, where you attach the string from your nails. Questions, please, because these are very... Yeah, do you have questions about nail shape, about tone, about how to get a good tone, all of this? Yeah, please, questions, please. I'm sure you have many questions about nails, about tone. What will you do if your nail breaks the day before? This is, that's a problem. So there are many ways you can try to solve the problem. But okay, so it happened to me once. And basically I put some silk, just a tiny bit of silk on the point where the nail breaks. And then I put some super glue in order to fix. But if the nails goes away completely, I recommend to go to a nail salon and to do a new one, or to, yeah, it's a problem. So that's why you have to take care of your nails. Don't grow too long nails, because they break too frequently. And also try to put some oil on the nails, you know, to take care of them very nicely. And also, what I wanted to ask you, Janice, preferably nail shape for tremolo. But actually, tremolo, you know, it's perfect if you have a ramp. It's perfect for tremolo, because it's gonna help to it's gonna help to the nail to sorry, the string on the nail to go through. Because if your nails are like rounded this way, when you release the string, it's going to catch maybe. But if you have the ramp this way, it's not going to catch, because here we have the ramp, and then here the release point is very smooth. Okay, so actually it's the best way, but they need to be a bit short, not too long. You are right, resource person. Thank you, Zaren, thank you. So what I wanted to say next, let me think 1 second, I missed the line. Yeah, so basically it's also important the length of the nails. The length needs to be right, as when you get the release point of the nail, it doesn't catch. That's the best way to know if it's too long or too short. So, but mainly I recommend you to polish them. They have to be very, very silky smooth, because the nail has to really be quick in going through. So that's the most important thing, and it doesn't have to catch. So, you know, the guitar offers us a very wide panel of colors. So there is not such thing as like the best sound. It doesn't exist. Actually, we have to use our instrument and to get all the sounds we can from it, you know. So, but actually, it's nice to at least play the sound that we have in our mind. So that's the whole thing, actually. What it's all about, to play to get the sound that we are looking for. Otherwise, the problem is that we are not happy with our sound, and it's very stressful to be unhappy with our sound, you know? So my nails hurt a lot when I play rasgueado. Could you tell me how to do it properly? They hurt, really? I never heard about Smirit, can you tell me, can you talk to me about that? Because I'm not sure I got, I mean, the nail hurt or the, the nail root, the nail root. I truly don't know about that. Maybe you have to take care a bit more about your nails and to put maybe some, you know, some oil, and also they use the white of the egg to strengthen them in the natural way. The surface gets, also mine surface gets scratched. For this the solution is to use well, something that Johannes recommended me, and it's really helpful because my nails are very bad. So you can ask Johannes about this. The best thing for nails is, it's called Healthy Hoof. It's some kind of cream that they use for horses, you know, because you know that horses, it's crucial for them, you know. So you can use that. It's not the same thing, of course. There's the cream is for humans, right? But it helps very much because it gets your surface right. It gets nutrition to the nail, and you're gonna get beautiful nails after applying. It's something super cheap that you buy maybe for $2. This size of cream, you know, it's it gets really. If you write me later on Facebook, I will tell you how to get it. So remember, Healthy Hoof. How to angle your fingers while playing chords. As my nails grow very quickly, they need and they interfere while playing chords. Well, if your nails they grow very quickly, you have to keep polish them with this kind of nail file. You know, you have to keep polishing every day. Otherwise, it's right. Because when you play chord, of course, it interferes. So try to keep always the same length of nails, and the angle when you do your nails, the angle should be very, very, very smooth. You don't want the nail to catch when it releases. So because when you do chords, this is the contact point. So if you have the ramp, it's very easy because the string slides down and it's super easy. And then the release point, if you do it a bit rounded here, it slides and it releases the strings super well. And that's the best thing to avoid that problem. Okay, so I'm sorry that maybe I wasn't able to explain you everything the way I had in mind, but my English is not so good. So I tried to speak with my words. And it was a bit improvised in a way that I don't know all the terms in English. So, but I hope that you got the idea, and mainly not the exercise, because they're not very important. It's more important how we do the exercises, and to be aware of those things is very also just to be aware of those things. I think that helps you because you know what to do when you get those kind of problems with the guitar. To go back on the basics. So you can choose some of these exercises and you can apply them and start in your morning by doing, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour of some of those exercises, you know, and so yeah. Oh, thank you. You are too kind. Okay, so Vinay, and then I'm going to leave you, and thank you very much. So the wrist position, you have fantastic players that plays with very extreme angles. Thibaut Garcia, for example, he's amazing, and he plays like this, you know. So there's no such a thing as something true. But to be honest, generally they are exceptions because they are exceptional players. So they are exceptions. So I believe that in general, we have to avoid extreme angles because our hand gets stiff and we are not very well relaxed. He learned that way because it's the French way. From when he was a child, and his hand is not stiff; he's very natural. But when I honestly think that we have to avoid the extreme angles, and so the best position for me is the most natural. So we put our fingers, we put our arm on here, and the best thing is the most natural for you. And but in order to get a good warm sound, for me it's rather this kind of angle, okay? Because with the ramp is very good because it's very free. The release point is very smooth, and the string slides perfectly. So my way of playing is this one, and I like it. So yeah, not it's unique to every person, but you see, I mean, generally I think that it's best to avoid extreme angles, because yeah, it's not, it has to be something very natural, something very natural. And if you're looking for a warm, rich sound, you maybe want to try to do this kind of angles. So rather this angle, maybe not this. So yeah. Okay, so any more questions? If not, I would like to thank you very much for being yeah, for everyone for being here today and to listen to me. Thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure to see so many familiar faces. So how many hours do I practice a day? Not much, because I'm a teacher at school, at secondary school. So when I was a student, I was practicing out. Now, not so much. But yeah, thank you very much, really, from the bottom of my heart, because it's super, good to see so many interested people. And don't hesitate to contact me if you have questions about the exercises. I also, do you still have my guitar lift? I see Shimal from Calcutta. Do you like the guitar lift, Shimal? Yes. Thank you for attending the workshop, Maestro. Thank you very much. Okay, and one last thing. When to play close to bridge compared to the, okay, so close to bridge, when you try to get this kind of sound, maybe you should play Baroque music or Scarlatti, or you want to get a sound which is close to the harpsichord, and then when close to Rosetta, close to here, when you get a warm sound, a very cellist sound, you can reach this part of them. Okay, you can write me bridge. Write me privately, and I will talk to you about that. So about fake, okay, just 1 second. I have to tell that I'm 1 second. Okay. So fake nails helps, of course. If you have terrible nails, maybe it's a choice. I have very bad nails, but I take care of them very much. I put the cream, I put the oil, I shape them with the ramp. So I have to be honest, I don't recommend to put fake nails or glue nails, because it's every day. You have to, I mean, it's not something that I recommend. Also, it ruins your nail, because if you put something on your nail, it's going to really ruin also, yeah, your hand in a way, right? Because your nails, your original nail get very, 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 very bad. So, and about the thumb, look, also my thumb is shaped this way, okay? So the natural way, tap. That's very simple, the same way that I shape my other nails. So, okay, so yeah, thank you very much, Amitabh, also for helping me out. Veda is not here, but thank you, Veda.
Yeah, she did. But really, thank you so much for conducting this workshop. It was really very informative. And
thank you.
Like we end up losing sight of the initial exercises, which are so crucial for us to get our day started. So really, thank you. I guess everybody can unmute themselves to thank Lorenzo.
Okay, sure.